Welcome to the Hanwha booth here at IPC Apex. Delighted to be joined by Johnny Nichols, who is the, of course, Director of Sales and Marketing. Nice to see you, Johnny.
Thank you, Trevor. Good to be here.
Yeah. So we've got a busy booth behind us, certainly with lots of equipment. The star of the show, I guess, is the H520.
Yes, sir.
So tell us a little bit about the H520 story, because you specifically like to use it in terms of LED mounting and stuff like that.
Yes, sir.
But it's a story that's developing, so tell us about what's going on.
Okay, very good. So what we have with the HM520, I mean, it's certainly a very powerful chip shooter and flexible mounting system. Certainly it's modular to maximize floor space performance. But what we've done is we've taken the HM520 and evolved. We have some other platforms that are variants of the HM520 to take us into the mini LED and even micro LED applications.
Really? Okay. So, just to give us an idea, what are we talking about in terms of accuracy and size?
Okay. So when you look at a conventional SMT chip shooter, like an HM520, that's going to take you certainly down below 30 micron placement accuracy, but these are all rated at 25 micron accuracy. So they can place components down to 200 microns by 100 microns, or an 0201 metric device, all right? But when you start looking at micro LED or mini LED and then micro LED applications, that's when you have to step down from the 100 to 200 range to below 100 micron range. Those are the micro LED applications that we've got. So what we've got there is the 520 is a 25 micron accuracy, the 520H is a 20 micron accuracy machine, and then the HLM10 is going to be a 10 micron accuracy machine.
Right, so 10 micron accuracy, that's incredible. That's incredible.
Yeah.
So can we talk about the HLM10 is using a slightly different configuration than these machines here?
Yes,
it's a single pick, single place sort of system.
Single pick, single place. So from a gantry and a head standpoint, it's different. But when you look at the form factor, which is very similar to what you see behind us on the HM520. So what's happened is we've developed another platform to give us the accuracy of what I like to say semiconductor machines and the speed of an SMT machine. So what we've done is we've blended the technology of an HM520 with a die placer or a flip chip mounting type style machine, which I call a semiconductor machine. So we've achieved that nice hybrid solution that gives you the ability to place at 10 micron placement accuracy for micro LED applications, but place it at a speed that's comparable to some of your SMT chip shooters that are in the market today.
Wow, that's amazing. So looking at the applications for that, I mean, it's signage, it's TVs. What other applications do you think?
Wow, you know, I think the sky's the limit in terms of that, right? We don't even know what other applications are awaiting to utilize equipment like this. But when we look at where LED technology is today, where it's driven us to go with the HM520, and you know, we're a very large company. We do a lot of business in China, a lot of business around the world, right? And there's more than just a demand for high volume LED placement. It's now high volume mini LED placement and higher volume micro LED placement. Some of the products that we see that could be driving this are things like, well, glasses, for instance, right? If I could say that I could be checking my email while I'm talking to you here today in my glasses because they're using LED technology that's so small, we can't see it, we can barely feel it, so to speak. Those are the kind of applications that might be very practical that we all might be using 2 years, 5 years, 10 years down the road. I can't say for sure. And there's a lot of confidentiality around these products, and people won't tell you. But I can tell you this: the conversations are very much alive and well with DFX groups all around the world, and there's some great stuff coming that is going to demand companies like Hanwha to deliver micro and mini LED application machines.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. So I think one of the things I noticed also in the HLM10 is you've got a very specific system for being able to pick and place off of wafers.
Yes, sir.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, when you go from a conventional SMT chip shooter machine that can also place LEDs down to, you know, that mini LED level, 100 to 200 microns. To be able to take a mounter like that and have a variant that handles mini LEDs, specifically mini LEDs, you still have to have the compatibility with tape feeders that you use on typical SMT chip shooters, but you've got to have the ability to handle 6-inch blue ring wafer feeders, all right? So we have the 6-inch blue ring wafer feeders for the 520H machine, and so it's fully compatible with those, but it's also compatible with conventional tape feeders that you see on the HM520 now. Whereas on the HLM10, that's a dedicated machine for micro LEDs, right? So for that, that's an exclusively fed machine by the 6-inch blue ring wafer feeders. Okay.
How many LEDs are on each wafer?
You know, according to my math, you know, when you look at a wafer, it's not the entire wafer that's full of LEDs, right? It's actually an 80 millimeter by 80 millimeter sheet of film that's in the center of that wafer. Well, it's conceivable that you could have up to 640,000 micro LEDs in that small space. It's mind-boggling, and you certainly cannot see them, okay? Somebody could say that, look, this has got 640,000 LEDs on it. I don't know if they can even verify that they're actually there unless you put it under a microscope. But These are very small devices, and when you look at the density at which these devices would be placed on product, you have to have a high density feeding mechanism, and the 6-inch blue ring feeder right now happens to be kind of the gold standard by which everybody are feeding these machines.
It's incredible the way technology is going, Johnny, and it's always exciting because at Hanwha you guys seem to be very much at the forefront of it. I guess that's not surprising being a Korean company, but desperate to see the next iteration when it comes out, and thank you for telling us about it today.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.